Here we go. Ready for some cooking? Okay, everybody's been asking about my cookie recipe. I was in a hurry and I was gonna just like blow it off and make another batch, but I thought, well, let's see if I can film it while I'm making it. So these are gonna be the double chocolate chip keto-friendly cookies. They have no sugar, no flour, and let me grab my recipe. As if I follow recipes. I did write down some ingredients and the measurements so I don't forget, but I should have measured this out beforehand so you don't have to watch me do all this. But let me grab a spoon. We're starting with, instead of flour, I'm using almond butter as a replacement. I will, however, add a little bit of, this is almond flour. Once I get everything mixed, the last time I made these, it was a little, the batter was a little thin. So I added like 4 tablespoons of that almond flour just to sort of thicken it. So I'll probably have to do that again, I'm assuming, because it's the same thing. So we're measuring out a cup of almond butter. And I'm using a combination of 2 different recipes because I do that. And the one called for, in addition to almond butter, it called for peanut butter powder, but I'm not doing that. I saw some at the store and I was kind of looking, and the stuff I saw at the store involved sugar. It had sugar in it, so I don't think I need it. I'm not sure why they put that in there. So I'm going to put, well, that flour, but I'm also going to put a little bit more cocoa powder too. It's a clumsy day. All right, here's my cup of almond butter. If I can get it out of there, it's all sticky. These actually turned out pretty good. That test batch I made another test batch earlier in the week of these, they were sour cream, like kind of sugar kind of cookies. And they looked good, but man, they did not taste right. It tasted like dough with a bad aftertaste. Because of the artificial sweetener. If you don't, I don't know, it's hard to get the mix of that right. But I found with these, the chocolate ones, I tasted them the night that I pulled them out of the oven, and I could taste that aftertaste of the fake sweetener. But then I put them in the fridge overnight, and the next day, they were much better. The consistency, it's almost like, I don't know, they had to sit there. And yeah, the consistency was way better the second day, and you didn't get that weird aftertaste. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we want 2/3 cups of sweetener. So I'm gonna use primarily the Swerve granulated. It calls for monk fruit, but I have this, it's the pure extract, so it's highly concentrated. It doesn't have, it's not like a blend. So I'm just going to add a little bit of that on top. It's going to be primarily the Swerve. So there's 1/3. And that's, dump a little back. It's like not quite to the top of the second third. And we're just gonna top it off with the monk fruit. So I'm gonna use a spoon just so I don't make a mess here. Because this stuff just goes everywhere, it seems. It's very powdery. And it's weird. I think I've said this before on videos. It gets in the air. I can taste it on my tongue. Okay, there's the, you can see the monk fruit on top. It's a little more yellow than the swerve. So there's our sweetener. Get that thing out of there. What else we got? Now we're gonna put the cocoa. God, I'm dropping everything. Hold on. That is what you call butterfingers. We want at least 2 tablespoons. I might go a little heavy on this. Well, we're gonna heap it too. It's not gonna be level. A little bit extra, so it's closer to 3 tablespoons. It's that brand. It's a pretty good brand, cocoa powder. Now we're gonna add. I'm gonna go ahead and add this because I did this after the fact last time, but I think I'm gonna need it. 4 tablespoons is a 1/4 cup, so we're just gonna put a 1/4 cup. 1/4 cup of almond flour. That way I don't have to use a wet tablespoon. Not that I would have dried it off. Then we got 2 eggs. 2 large eggs. It calls for a tablespoon of butter. I'm going to put a little bit more. This is about 2 tablespoons. Just because I have this left out of a stick, so might as well use it, huh? So it's kind of unusual. Usually when I make cookies, you mix the sugar and the butter. This, you just dump everything in. The only thing you don't put in yet is the chocolate chips. So I need, I'm scattered here, vanilla. And we're gonna do, you know what? We have baking soda. Let's use the dry first. We need a teaspoon of baking soda. Two teaspoons of vanilla. And it didn't call for this, but I'm going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So I'm a fan of salt. In fact, I'm going to put, not this salt, I'm going to put this flake salt on top of the cookies at the end. And the other thing it called for in the one recipe was 2 tablespoons of water. So I heated some water. It is actually a double shot of espresso, and I just used powdered espresso. I just used the heaping, one of these little espresso spoons, a heaping spoonful in the water. So that's going in there, and that's going to enhance the chocolate. All right, so that's the main ingredients. We're going to put it on the mixer. Blend it all up. You know, it called for melted butter too in one of the recipes, but this has been sitting out all night, so it's soft. Need our little panel attachment thing. All right, there we go. Monk fruit, this stuff goes everywhere. Okay, we're gonna scrape the sides a little. Tastes like the cookies. All right. Now for chocolate chips, I bought 2 different kinds because I wasn't sure if there's a difference in taste. These are the Chalk Zero brand chocolate chips, and then these I bought at the store, and these are Lily's, and they're they're not unsweetened, but they're sweetened with stevia. The dark chocolate. These are also dark chocolate. These are, what are these sweetened with? I think these are monk fruit, and this is stevia. So kind of a blend of different chocolates. They smell like chocolate. So I'm just gonna dump, it's like a half a bag of each. So it's gonna be chocolatey. You can see my stove over there. I got oatmeal cookies. Well, they're cool now, but I just made those earlier. Those are real cookies. Those are from my mother. Not all of them. I'm gonna send them to a couple people, but yeah, I wasn't gonna make her eat the keto cookies. But she loves the oatmeal, and I don't know how to make oatmeal without oats, because oats are non-keto. Oats are a no-no. So I think there is a way, but I didn't want to do that to her. So she gets the real thing. All right, now we're gonna mix the chocolate chips in. Now, the cookies I made the other night. Oops, I'm hitting the mic. I actually added a secret ingredient that I'm not going to add to these because I'm sending these to my sister and she's vegetarian, so I'm making sure it's clean. But the ones I made for myself, this is a secret ingredient, just collagen, pure collagen powder. Which would make it non-vegetarian. So I'm not going to use this, but in mine, it made them a little bit chewier, which was nice. So if you're not using flour, that's a good addition. So we got the batter here. And I don't know if that helped with the consistency too. It probably did. This looks a little bit... You know what? I might have to add another tablespoon of this this stuff, just to be safe. Because it's still a little bit, I don't think I'm gonna be able to, it's gonna like spread out, I think, on the cookie sheet. So I'm gonna add, what do I have, 4? I'm gonna add 2 more of these. And that's probably good. I don't think I went past that the other night. You know, I don't keep track of sometimes with what I do. I just sort of add stuff as I go. So it could have been more than 4. Yeah, I think this will be good. Yeah, see how it's still falling off of there. But another thing I could do possibly is put it in the fridge for like 15 or 20 minutes. You know what? I think I'll do that. Let's pause. I'm gonna stick this bowl in the fridge and we'll come back. All right, let's try this. I've got the little, it's like a melon scooper, so it's small. And these are still kind of gooey, so hopefully they'll work. Can you see me? Get this bowl in the way. That was the other thing I think I was hesitant about doing a cookie video, because I wasn't sure how to, because normally I do it over there on this other counter, because that's where this thing usually sits, but there's no good, there's nowhere to put the camera over there. We figured it out. So I have the oven preheated to 350, and we're going to stick these in for 10 minutes each for each tray. And I only do one tray at a time. I could put two in there if I wanted, but then I'd have to flip them. Now this is a different salt. The salt I put in there was the Redmond sea salt. This is Malden sea salt flakes. And I'm using this on top. So this is going to go on top of each cookie. And this helps to sort of disguise that the fake sugar sweet taste. All right, first batch for 10 minutes. Start my timer. Let's get the second batch ready. Yeah, I made that cheesecake a little while ago, but I don't make sweets a whole lot anymore, only because, you know, it's still not as good as the real thing. So I just figure, why even bother? If I can't have the real thing, I might as well just not eat it, you know? And all that does is make me want the real thing. So I'm an all or nothing type guy. I'm better off with nothing instead of teasing myself with something fake. See a little bit of salt on top. So we'll let that go. At least it was just the box, not the whole bag of salt. All right, the timer just went off. It's time to pull the first batch out. Look at that. We're gonna let those cool on the cookie sheet for about a minute or so. And then I'll transfer them over to the wire rack. I have to pack them up and maybe leave one out if I want to taste it. Because if I have full access, once I start, I can't stop. It's just this switch that goes on. So I got to be careful with that. Same with these though. These are so good. Even not having sugar, I guess it's the sweetness and the saltiness. Man, I always think I'm gonna sit down and have two, and I end up eating 5 of them. So we're a little past a minute. I'm gonna go ahead and transfer these to the rack. There we go. Sliding all over. Yeah, they're still a little gooey. All right, that's still hot. I'm gonna put this over here so I can load it back up for the next batch. Still got about 6.5 minutes on that, so I'm gonna pause. All right, batch number 2 is ready. Ooh. So spread out a little bit more. All right, and we had a little bit extra, so I had to put some on the edge here. So this one's gonna be a little bit crowded. Hopefully it'll still work out. I didn't want to put one last cookie sheet with 4 cookies on it. So let's start the timer. Okay, the timer just went off again. And here's my final batch. Ooh, they're all crowded on there. There you go. Pretty consistent. I'm gonna turn the oven off and let those cool. I think I forgot to put salt on those last ones. I can put it on there now while they're hot, I guess. How did I forget that? That's weird. So I wasn't paying attention. I had already salted these other ones, and then I had to try to, I don't know, I have no excuse. So there you go. There's your double chocolate chip. They're gonna go in the refrigerator overnight, so maybe I'll eat one tomorrow. You can observe. But that's it. Pretty simple. Voila. All right, here's the taste test. We have the double chocolate chip cookie. I'm not taste testing those oatmeal cookies because I'm not going to go there with the sugar and the oats and the flour. So these are flourless, sugarless. And this is the new batch. I still had some of the old batch, which has the collagen powder added to it. These don't. So I'm going to see how these go. And I got my trusty, oops, you can't even see it from that side, with some coffee, black coffee. Okay. First I'm going to break it in half so you can see. Yep. Yeah, they're as good as the ones with the collagen. They're a little drier. Not that they're like super dry or anything, but no, they're perfect cookie consistency. The collagen, though, does add a little bit of like chewy, makes it a little chewier. But these are still good. So I haven't eaten yet today. Hopefully this won't spoil my appetite. Actually, it's gonna make me want more cookies. See, these cups, I should be drinking it like this, but I'm not right-handed. Even though this is a left-handed cup, I guess you're supposed to see the picture while you're drinking it. But the other people should see it while I'm drinking it. You can get these on Zazzle, by the way. There you go. Like usual, delicious.